What if I told you that some of the most powerful people in the world, the secret elite, know something profound about God, but they're not sharing it with the rest of us? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the biggest spiritual secrets hidden in plain sight. This isn't about religion. This is about divine power, ancient knowledge, and the real truth about your connection to the Creator. This is what the elite know about God that they don't want you to know. Stay with me until the end, because once you hear this, you won't see the world, or yourself, the same way again. The biggest lie the elite push is the illusion of separation. Since birth, we're told that God is somewhere out there, distant and unreachable. But ancient wisdom, kept hidden by mystery schools and secret societies, reveals the opposite. You are not separate from God. You are a spark of the divine. The same creative force that shaped the galaxies flows through you right now. The elite know this. They study it. They meditate on it. And yet, they use media, school systems, and fear-based doctrines to make you forget it. Because a person who knows they are divine is powerful, uncontrollable. Imagine the shift if billions of people remembered their godlike essence. The world would change overnight. Systems of control would collapse. This is why they hide it. This is why awakening is so dangerous to them, and so vital for you. Most of us were taught to beg and plead in prayer, asking for mercy, asking for favors. But the elite knows something different. Real prayer is not asking, it's commanding. It's aligning your frequency with the outcome you desire. Quantum physics has already confirmed that our thoughts can influence physical reality. The ancients knew this thousands of years ago. When you pray as a creator, not a beggar, you activate the divine within. You become the cause, not the effect. The elite use this power through rituals, affirmations, and energetic focus. Meanwhile, the masses are kept passive and powerless. This isn't just about words, it's about intention, vibration, and belief. They want you unaware of this power, because if you started creating consciously, their control would crumble. It's time to reclaim your divine authority. The holy texts of the world once contained deep truths, mystical teachings about enlightenment, energy, and oneness. But over centuries, the elite edited, removed, and manipulated these texts. Why? To turn them into tools of control. Do you really think books passed through empires, councils, and kings stayed pure? Of course not. The true teachings of God were about inner discovery, personal power, and unity with the cosmos. But what we're left with is dogma, rules, hierarchy, fear. The elite know this. They read the unedited versions. They study the esoteric texts behind closed doors. And they make sure the rest of us stay distracted, divided, and afraid. But now, the truth is resurfacing. And people are waking up. Why do ancient civilizations all over the world point to the pineal gland, the third eye, as sacred? Because it's your biological connection to the divine. Modern science confirms it regulates melatonin and connects to circadian rhythms. But spiritually, it's the bridge between the physical and spiritual realms. The elite know this. That's why fluoride and toxic chemicals are pushed, because they calcify the pineal gland, dulling your intuition and spiritual vision. Ancient cultures activated this gland through sound, meditation, and light. It's not fantasy, it's real, and it's measurable. Awakening your pineal gland is like tuning into the frequency of God. The elite protect this knowledge, even weaponize it, but you can take it back. Here's the final truth: your experience of God reflects what you believe about God. The elite believe they are creators, so they live as gods, manifesting wealth, influence, and legacy. Meanwhile, many are taught to feel unworthy, sinful, or separate from the divine. But belief is a filter. Change it, and everything changes. The universe doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. If you believe you are divine, you will live divinely. If you believe you're broken, you will experience more brokenness. The elite don't want you to know this because belief is the engine of reality. Shift yours, and nothing will ever be the same again. Everything in the universe vibrates. Even your thoughts and emotions carry frequencies. The secret elite know that when you raise your vibration, through love, gratitude, truth, and intention, you align more closely with the frequency of the divine. They use sacred geometry, sound frequencies, and energetic practices to attune themselves to higher realms. Meanwhile, society is bombarded with low-vibrational distractions, fear, anger, violence, and consumerism. These things keep you disconnected from your spiritual essence. But when you consciously shift your vibration, you begin to attract divine experiences. This is why ancient temples used sound resonance, why chants are powerful, and why silence is sacred. Your vibration determines your spiritual access. Raise it, and doors begin to open, doors the elite have long walked through in secret. We've been taught to see God as a distant figure, an old man with a beard, sitting on a throne in the clouds. But that image is symbolic, not literal. The elite know that God is consciousness itself, the awareness behind all things. It's the field of infinite intelligence that animates every cell, every star, every breath. You are not apart from it, you are an expression of it. The quantum field, divine source, unified field, science is beginning to catch up to what mystics have always known. By meditating and becoming present, you begin to dissolve the illusion of separation. You begin to merge back into the divine awareness. The elite keep people focused on form so they never discover the formless truth within themselves. The words, "I am," are the most powerful words you can speak. Why? Because whatever follows, "I am," becomes a command to the universe, and a declaration of your identity. The elite use this principle daily. They say, "I am powerful. I am wealthy. I am divine." And the universe aligns to mirror that truth back to them. Meanwhile, most people unconsciously say, "I am tired. I am broke. I am not enough." And that, too, becomes their reality. The original spiritual texts taught this. "I am that I am" was the name of God revealed to Moses. When you speak "I am," you are invoking the divine within. The elite know this secret, because identity is destiny. Watch your words, and you'll watch your world change. In a world full of noise, silence is revolutionary. The elite understand the power of silence, not just as absence of sound, but as presence of spirit. Silence is where divine downloads occur. It's where intuition sharpens and your connection to source strengthens. That's why monasteries, mystery schools, and spiritual initiates have always practiced silence. In silence, your ego quiets, and your soul speaks. The elite use silent retreats, meditation chambers, sensory deprivation, tools to access deeper layers of truth. Meanwhile, society is addicted to distraction. Phones buzz, media blasts, thoughts race. But the path to divine awareness is paved with stillness. Make space for silence daily, and you'll begin to hear the voice of God, not in thunder, but in whispers. Here's something the elite understand deeply: the outer world is a mirror of your inner world. What you hate, judge, or resent in others is often something unresolved within yourself. This is known as the law of mirrors. The elite use this law to master their emotions and evolve spiritually. Instead of blaming the world, they reflect inward. They ask, "What is this triggering in me?" This level of self-awareness creates power. But society is taught to project, blame, and divide. It keeps people stuck in conflict and distraction. Real spiritual growth comes when you realize everything out there is showing you something about in here. When you learn to embrace and integrate these reflections, you rise in consciousness and step into your divine self. The elite don't believe in coincidence, they understand synchronicity. When the universe aligns events, numbers, people, and signs in your life, it's not random. It's divine guidance. Seeing repeating numbers, hearing the same message multiple times, or meeting the right person at the perfect moment, these are all signs from Source. The elite are trained to pay attention. They use synchronicity as a compass, letting it guide decisions and reveal truth. You have that same access. But most people dismiss these events, calling them luck or chance. The truth? God communicates constantly through the patterns of life. The more aware you become, the more you'll see that you are being guided. Always. Nothing is random. Everything is communication, if you're listening. One of the greatest secrets the elite hold is the influence of collective belief. They understand that when large groups of people believe something, good or bad, it shapes reality. That's why media and systems of authority constantly push fear, division, and scarcity. Because belief is energy, and collective belief is massive energy. But this can also be used for good. The elite use group rituals, mass meditations, and focused intent to shape global events. When enough people hold a unified vision, reality begins to bend toward that vision. This is how revolutions begin. It's how miracles occur. Your belief matters, but when combined with others, it becomes unstoppable. Imagine millions believing in peace, abundance, and awakening. The world would transform overnight. That's the power they hope you never realize. Forget the images of fire and clouds. The elite know heaven and hell are not locations, they are frequencies of consciousness. When you are in alignment with love, peace, and divine truth, you're in heaven, even while on earth. When you are trapped in fear, guilt, and separation, you're in hell, even if everything looks fine on the outside. Ancient spiritual teachings describe this over and over, but religion externalized it. Why? Because when you think heaven is a far-off place, you won't realize you can access it now. The elite use breathwork, visualization, and emotional mastery to rise into heavenly states. They don't wait to die, they awaken now. And so can you. Heaven isn't afterlife, it's your birthright in this life. Your body isn't just a vessel, it's advanced spiritual technology. The elite study how the body stores energy, how breath affects the nervous system, and how movement can activate higher consciousness. Practices like yoga, tai chi, sacred dance, and breathwork are not just fitness, they're ancient tools for awakening. Meanwhile, the average person is taught to ignore or abuse their body. Junk food, stress, overmedication, all dampen spiritual connection. The body is a temple. Not just metaphorically, but literally. Your cells, blood, and breath are intelligent. They respond to thoughts, to emotions, to intention. The elite treat their bodies with reverence because they know the body is the gateway to the divine. Start honoring yours, and you'll feel the shift almost instantly. Did you know the elite train in lucid dreaming? This isn't fantasy, it's real. In a lucid dream, you are aware you're dreaming and can consciously explore your inner universe. Ancient Egyptian, Tibetan, and indigenous teachings all viewed dreams as sacred. Why? Because dreams are messages from the soul. In dreams, you can meet guides, receive divine insight, and heal deep wounds. The elite know that dreams are not just unconscious processes, they're spiritual journeys. That's why they journal their dreams, sleep in high-energy environments, and use natural aids to enhance dream recall. You can do this too. Set an intention before sleep. Write down dreams upon waking. Over time, you'll begin to see patterns and messages. Dreams are sacred whispers from God. Don't ignore them. The elite spend billions uncovering ancient texts, decoding pyramids, and guarding lost knowledge. Why? Because ancient civilizations had advanced spiritual technology. From Atlantis to Egypt, from Vedic India to the Mayans, they understood energy, consciousness, and the true nature of the soul. The elite know that history as taught in schools is incomplete. It's designed to make you feel like we've progressed, but in truth, we've forgotten. The ancient ones knew how to activate the pineal gland, communicate telepathically, and live in harmony with the earth. That's why their symbols and architecture still baffle scientists. The elite decode it in secret while the rest of us are told it's myth. But the truth is, the ancients left us a map, a spiritual blueprint. And it's time we remembered how to read it. Before temples and cathedrals, there were trees, rivers, and mountains. The elite know that nature is not just beautiful, it's sacred. Every plant, every rock, every animal is vibrating with divine intelligence. Indigenous traditions have always known this, which is why their spirituality is deeply tied to the land. The elite retreat into nature for clarity, power, and healing. They buy private forests and sacred land for a reason, it's where energy flows freely. Meanwhile, cities are designed to distract and disconnect. But when you spend time in nature, you recalibrate. Your nervous system resets. You remember who you are. You don't need to be in a church to connect with God. Step into the forest. Sit by a stream. That's where you'll hear the divine most clearly. Money is not evil. That's another lie to keep you broke and powerless. The elite understand that money is energy. It flows to those who match its frequency, those who believe they are worthy, abundant, and open to receive. That's why they affirm wealth, visualize it, and never feel guilty for having it. Meanwhile, most people are taught to see money as dirty or evil. But this belief creates resistance. It repels abundance. Money, like everything, is a tool. It amplifies who you are. The elite use money to build legacies and maintain influence. If more awakened people embraced abundance, imagine what could be created. Schools. Healing centers. Innovations. It's time to shift your beliefs. You are divine, and divine beings are not meant to struggle. Publicly, astrology is mocked. Privately, the elite rely on it. They schedule meetings, make decisions, and track planetary alignments. Why? Because astrology is a cosmic calendar, a blueprint of energetic influence. The ancients used it to understand divine timing. It's not about superstition, it's about frequency. The planets influence tides, crops, and even your biology. The elite know this and use it as a tool, not a joke. They know when to act, when to wait, and when to launch. Meanwhile, the masses are told it's nonsense. But if the moon can move oceans, what do you think it does to you? Don't fear astrology, learn it. The heavens are speaking, and the elite are listening. Perhaps the greatest truth the elite know is that life doesn't end at death. The soul is eternal. They plan not just for this life, but for the next. Ancient lineages passed down spiritual knowledge and energetic wealth through generations. Reincarnation, karma, and spiritual contracts are not fantasy, they're cosmic law. The elite study these truths in depth. They make spiritual investments. They focus on legacy. Why? Because they know this life is one chapter in a much larger journey. When you realize this, you stop fearing death. You stop wasting time. You start living with purpose. You begin to ask deeper questions. Why am I here? What did my soul come to do? These are the questions the elite ask themselves daily. Now it's your turn. Symbols aren't just decoration, they're keys to energy. The elite fill their buildings, logos, and rituals with sacred geometry and ancient symbols. Why? Because symbols bypass the logical mind and speak directly to the subconscious. The pyramid, the all-seeing eye, the spiral, the flower of life, these aren't random. They encode divine truths. The elite understand that when you place certain symbols in key locations, they influence energy flow and human consciousness. Meanwhile, the public is distracted by brand logos and pop culture trends, unaware that they're constantly being imprinted with symbols, some uplifting, some disempowering. Want to take back your power? Start studying sacred geometry. Wear symbols with intention. Fill your space with the language of the divine. Because the truth is, symbols shape perception, and perception shapes reality. This ancient phrase isn't just poetic, it's a fundamental spiritual law. As above, so below. As within, so without. The elite live by this. They know the universe is fractal, that the micro reflects the macro. The stars reflect the body. The universe reflects the mind. That's why they study cosmology, the chakras, the tree of life, and ancient mystery teachings. When you master your inner world, your outer world changes. The elite use rituals to align themselves with cosmic cycles, knowing that the divine expresses itself through patterns. Meanwhile, the masses are kept in a disconnected state, taught that the heavens and the earth are separate. But when you awaken to this truth, everything becomes sacred. You are the universe expressing itself in human form. That's power. The word ritual has been demonized, but the elite know its true purpose. Rituals are not about superstition, they're about energy alignment. Lighting candles, setting intentions, using specific words or movements, these create focus, coherence, and spiritual power. The elite use rituals to mark transitions, summon energy, and create outcomes. Births, business launches, meetings, and even global events are scheduled with ritual precision. But for the average person, ritual has been stripped away or labeled dark. The truth? Every religion, culture, and tribe used ritual to connect with the divine. You can reclaim this. Morning rituals, moon rituals, healing rituals, they align your body, mind, and spirit. Intentional ritual is how you remind the universe, and yourself, that you are a co-creator. You don't need robes or temples. Just presence and purpose. The elite train their minds with discipline. Not because they worship intellect, but because they understand the mind is a gateway to the divine. They use visualization, mental rehearsal, and mindfulness to focus thought energy like a laser. The mind can create or destroy. It can keep you trapped, or help you transcend. Most people are caught in mental loops, worry, and distraction. But the elite teach their children early, guard your thoughts. They are the seeds of your reality. Your brain is an antenna, it receives and broadcasts energy. The elite use this knowledge to attract outcomes, shape perception, and influence collective belief. You can too. But it starts by treating your mind not as a prison, but as a sacred tool. Feed it light, truth, and silence, and it will open the gates of the soul.